What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So I've decided to do more gaming news. I got some free time, so I'm going to talk about more because there's a lot more stuff that is happening in the gaming world. Maybe even go into a little bit of a rant a little bit. In fact, I got to go get my phone. But yes, there is more new stuff I want to talk about from Destiny, Xbox, lots of stuff to talk about, so I'm going to talk about it real quick. So first thing, some good news real quick, is that I found this out literally last night, and that is Call of Duty Black Ops 1 and 2 are going to be re-released, I think, on PlayStation 5. That's the only thing I've heard about it is going to be on PlayStation 5. I don't know if there's going to be a Nintendo Switch 2 version or not, but yeah, there's going to be a PlayStation 5 re-release of Black Ops 1 and 2. So that'll be pretty cool. I've been kind of wanting to get into those. I want to go back and play those again. I don't know if they're going to be like a full remastered in the same treatment as the Modern Warfare versions, like Modern Warfare 1 and 2. I don't know anything about that. That'd be kind of cool if it was. But as far as we know, yes, Black Ops 1 and 2 are going to be re-released on the PlayStation 5. Maybe on the Xbox. If they're remastered, they might be really re-releasing on the Xbox Series X too. So, yeah. So that's really, really cool. But let's go ahead and talk about some Xbox stuff just real quick. This wouldn't be in my normal Xbox Brain Melt section because I want to talk about it very briefly because I want to talk to the Destiny thing really quickly. Let's talk about the studio closures that may or may not be happening. There's a lot of talks about like renegotiations things. I guess they're trying to figure out like what to do there, where to go with that. And there's like a lot of stuff that's been happening. Let's first talk about Ninja Theory. That's the one I'm more important about. Like I really would like to see more games coming out of them because in the past, like I've said before, they made some really good games, such as or at least I thought they were good with how the game mechanics were. They were behind Heavenly Sword, the Enslaved game, Devil May Cry. Now I know nobody really likes that reboot version, but I really did enjoy the mechanics of it more so than anything. I thought it was a really good hack and slash game. Other than the story wise, the mechanics of it all was really, really fun. I didn't much like the story, but in on itself, the game mechanics were a lot of fun. But supposedly, the reason why they decided to do that game reveal of that next Suna game was because they were hopefully having some potential buyers for that property and hopefully have somebody come in and say, buy this thing. So they didn't. So I guess they're trying to in some way get these studios to still exist in some part, but they're not going to be under the Microsoft banner or they're not going to be owned by Microsoft anymore. At least they're trying to do that instead of just completely shutting them down. At least that's what I'm taking away from all this information I'm reading. But yeah, it's one of the things I have to ask though. It's just like, but why did you buy them in the first place? That one has like still perplexed me to this day. Why is Microsoft buying these studios if they're not going to utilize them? They did that with Rare, with all the Rare properties, and they didn't do anything with that. And now with all these ones, just like, yeah, which I got to talk about that here in a minute. Anyways, that was the whole thing, was that they were trying to get buyers for that from that game reveal. And I don't know what they're going to do. Since they did reveal it, and it feels like it might be done, are they going to still let the game release, or are they just going to say, okay, well, screw it and close it down? Because they have done that before, where games have been made and studios just shut it down. That's why Xbox did that. That's why they released the trailer, was in hopes to get potential buyers. Okay, I got more news here. I'm trying to find. There's this Bethesda. I didn't talk about Bethesda, but I want to talk about it here. There could be possibilities of layoffs at Bethesda, which is crazy. Again, these are all just potential rumors. I don't know. We don't know everything. Unless you were working on Elder Scrolls or Fallout games, there could be potentially, like, unless you're working on those or something like that, you could potentially, people could be losing their jobs on that. That one perplexes me again on that one because, they do make pretty good games. I don't know what jobs would be gone, but that one surprises me. I thought they did very well when they did those. The only one I know didn't do very well is the Starfield game. That one was not turned out as good as they would have hoped it to be. I know Bethesda owns. When I remember when Bethesda got bought by Microsoft, I saw the Doom game on there. I don't know what's going to go on there. I would love for the people who made Doom to keep going because those games were really, really good. Doom: The Dark Ages had some minor hiccups, but ever since Microsoft bought them, things got changed. So could it be corporate meddling that made the game not as good as the prior two? I don't know. I hope those guys aren't, any of those people who made those games are going to be gone. I'm really hoping for that one because I really love the Doom series. But yeah, that one's about Bethesda. I'm surprised about that one. There's one more thing I want to talk about. Yeah, okay. Oh, here we go. I found this out, but supposedly Xbox studios were told to ignore sales and focus on awards. If this was true, no wonder a lot of games were crap. Xbox messaging was make good games, help us fill out Game Pass, try to win awards. Game Pass is the North Star. This is not a profit play. Okay, if this is true, if that was true, that statement, that's the problem here. See, that's what I'm saying. When I hear that, I hear that they want the model to be subscription-based service plans only. Drop the whole digital media situation, drop all that, and start pumping out games for the Game Pass so that people can be hooked on Game Pass all the time. That's a future they want. I hate that. Game Pass should be an option for gamers if those people want to do that. I like to either buy, I would rather buy a physical copy, but if I have to buy it and I only have like $5, maybe there's a digital game where I can buy it for $5 and that's it. I don't want to pay for anything else because I can't, in the time frame in which I have, I can't play everything. Go for awards. Don't make the game good. Go for awards. I can believe that one. I can actually really believe that one. Focus on awards and Game Pass. Punish them for low sales later. Wow. That is a business model you don't want to do. I don't know why they thought that was a good idea. If this was to be true, this is so crazy. What you want to do is that you want to make the game good, then worry about that other stuff later. You know what it reminds me of? There was an episode, it just popped in my head. There was an episode of Hot Wings or Hot Ones or something like that. It's just like this show that where you eat hot wings, and as you progressively go up, they get harder and harder. And they have celebrities on there all the time. And there's one about Matt Damon that was like striking about how he was talking about the movie industry and how streaming kind of hurt that now in terms of like movie sales and whatnot. And he said like when the movie was released, they made a lot of money on that first release, and when the DVD sales came in or the Blu-ray sales came in, it was like a second opening, like a second release opening, so they gained more money that way. Obviously, that is true, and streaming services supposedly have hurt that in some way. And I always thought to myself, like, streaming service should be the final thing, right? And I think that needs to be done with a lot of how gaming industries need to be done too. This is why I keep saying like physical media needs to be important, and also why the digital market should also be there and streaming service need to be there as well. Because if you want to make money off this stuff, you need to find ways to do that. So if you hit the market that wants to buy the physical media of whether it be movies or books or games, they have that option. Then move it to a digital service. Move it to the digital store so people will buy it digitally, And then once that is done and you want to get more money out of it, move it to your streaming service like a Netflix or a Game Pass or something. Then you might be able to generate more money there. Work down the line of how you want to do it. Not do it all at once and all on Game Pass, which is like, I think that's what they want to do. They don't want you to own your shit. They want you to have a strictly pay this monthly subscription all the damn time. What's so funny is I remember seeing something about like people are moving towards buying digital media. It's eventually people are going to do that. Why are we fighting for physical media? And I really thought about it going like, no, honestly, when you are forcing people to do it, then of course the sale numbers would look like the way they do. I remember reading it. I wish I could damn it, I need to find it. I remember seeing where it showed the sales numbers of physical and digital with like Nintendo, PlayStation, and Xbox. And as they went down the line, it's like, I think it was like the sales for Nintendo was like at 50 or 60% of physical sales, and it was 50 to 60% like digital sales. PlayStation was the same, was up a little bit more, like 70 to 80, and with Xbox it's 90. But what I remember though that these stores were getting rid of it, even though I was still buying it, and I knew a lot of other people were still buying physical media. They were just told to get rid of it. People say it's convenient. I have never known it to be convenient. Every time I've gone in to the game store and looked for like maybe a game on sale, it's usually they have exactly the same game that's on sale, and it's been that same sale every time they do a sale. Like Sekiro, I remember that game was on sale on the Xbox store at $29.99. And if you go there, I can guarantee you, if they have that game on sale right now, or not right now, but whenever you watch this or whenever you have it, they have a sale for it, I can guarantee you it will be $29.99. And that game came out in 2019. You're telling me you can't go lower? Like digital, I've always hated digital media buying stuff there because you can never find a really good deal. Like you hope it would go down just a little bit more, but they never hardly ever do. I know people say go to PC, but I need to get me a good PC. I'm not surprised that Xbox has done this, has basically told these studios, make games for Game Pass, pushing that whole market, pushing that way of doing things. I'm not surprised at all for them to do it. And since maybe this is an Xbox brain melt thing.
Xbox brain melt.
My issue with Xbox, if this is a little bit of a quick note for Xbox and what they need to do if they really want to really go the route of making this a successful thing. You know what you guys need to do? You need to have stuff in stores. I get that they're pushing a digital media presence, but Xbox's presence in stores is so laughable. It's a joke. I get that if you're forcing people to go the digital route, and I know people are going to be like, it's so much more convenient. I don't see how it's convenient. I'm being serious here. It's not being an old guy. I'm saying I don't understand the convenience other than you don't have a lot of stuff on your shelves. That's the only thing. Or I've heard people say it's like it's gonna scratch. I don't have to worry about scratching my disc. But unless you're playing with it with frisbees, I don't see what the whole point of that argument is. Xbox really needs to have store presence. Like they have like barely anything in stores, and I know they don't like to have the physical media thing, but in order to people to really look at your product or look at what you have, you've got to have something, anything, maybe like the heavy hitters need to have maybe some games, physical media stuff, but not like so much like the smaller titles maybe, but you gotta have something. Their store presence is a joke, is a little joke. Like my local Walmart, I'll show a picture here. My local Walmart has like they have like barely anything there, like a few games on the rack. And beforehand, and they were downsizing, like remodeling things. But beforehand, they had so much more Xbox stuff. And mine was a little store. I can't even imagine in the bigger stores of how much they probably downsized the Xbox stuff. Like you got to have store presence because some people still go to the store. So if you're seeing like Xbox like has this one fucking console, a few games, and maybe some cards there to buy, it's like, why would I want to buy that? Well, here's PlayStation, here's Nintendo. Holy crap, I'm telling you, Xbox, they need to have a bigger presence in their stores. But that's just my opinion, okay? That's just my opinion how Xbox probably need to do things. Not so much as the games, but more of a presence in game stores, more than anything, I think. I haven't been, it's been a while since I've been to GameStop. Heck, even on Amazon, like, try to get somewhere where it can push that stuff. You gotta have more of a presence. That's the only thing I'm gonna say. I was going to talk about the Stop Killing Games things just real quick. Something didn't pass over at the EU, which I'm not surprised. I don't think that thing's going to have any resolve, whether it be in Europe or in the States. I just have this gut feeling that this is all a bunch of hogwash. I think it's just not going to go anywhere, in my personal opinion. Even the California one, I just have a gut feeling that's not going to go anywhere. So that's just something real quick about the Stop Killing Games. In terms of new stuff, that's all the stuff I want to talk about real quick about Xbox, about Call of Duty, and Stop Killing Games. Stop Killing Games is really quickly. But the final thing, I'm going to have a bit of a rant. If you got to this point, if you're wondering about the Destiny stuff, here it is, and I'm going to talk about it. And this is probably going to be a rant about it. So here we go. Oh my gosh, where do I begin with it? So these are a few things I found on Twitter, and a few other things I found out. I'm gonna show. Hopefully, let me find this one deal. So let's see here. Okay, let's talk about the Jason Schreier thing. Let's talk about this. I saw this the other day. So Jason Schreier, I'll show the picture here. A lot of people have wondered why Bungie didn't immediately start working on Destiny 3 after the final shape 2 years ago. The answer, as it usually is how much money it would take. Now, it would go on to talk about the Naughty Dog game and everything like that. I'm not going to talk about that one. I'm just not. This is about Destiny. And so there was another thing I saw. Let's see if I can find that. If they both match. Another thing I saw from another post. Bungie and Sony made only $14 million on consoles with Marathon. This is from this poster here. I have new information from inside source telling me that the console figures for Marathon were grim indeed. The rumors about Bungie getting a 50% staff reduction are looking very likely. Most of Marathon's sales were from PC, but Sony cannot be happy with these console numbers. These sources are 100% accurate yeah. So I have one of the most obvious question of all time. Okay? Why they didn't do the whole starting of the Destiny 3 is because of money. Okay. I guess this is the incoherent rant part, so let's talk about that. What are you talking about? What do you mean you have no fucking money? What was the point of selling all that shit in Destiny 2? All the expansion passes, all the cosmetics, all the season passes, all these other fucking extra bullshit that you've nickel and dime players forever and ever and ever for almost 10 fucking years in Destiny 2. Where did all that money go? Could someone please explain to me? Huh? I would like for somebody to explain to me how $49.99 for the final shape, or what was a season pass I bought for $20? Season pass for cosmetic shit? Where the heck did all that money go? You even released Destiny 2 on PC because people were saying you would make a lot more money there. Did everything go to just Destiny 2 or to Marathon? And Marathon gives you bare bones shit anyways, from what I was told. It only gives you 3 maps at launch and maybe a 4th one. I don't know if it has it now. And cosmetics there are just as expensive as anything else. Why are you charging $29.99 for cosmetic shit? Where all this money that you've charged your players all this fucking shit for all this extra shit? Where is that money going? Either A, you have way too many people working there and you're too bloated, or 2, you mismanage all your fucking money. How can you tell me you don't have money to fucking pay people to develop Destiny 3? You've charged out of the ass for them for all this shit. So what's going on? Oh, and not to mention Destiny 1. It had a bunch of, cosmetic shit. Microtransactions and stuff like that. So where the hell is all this money coming? Where did all the money go? Somebody please explain that one to me. You're telling me you can't make Destiny 3? You can't make a Destiny 3 starter pack and then start nickel and diming them again for all this stuff? What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Unless you don't have much material left. And this is the one thing I'm always been pissed about Destiny, is that they had this original plan for Destiny. They had this original plan, and they fucking said, no, we're not doing that. So the whole original story of Destiny is long since gone, and they took all the material of that original story and just stretched the shit out of it, and now they reach to the end, and they have nothing left. The original people that made that storyline, it had a stopping point, and now the new people who work there at Bungie don't know what to do with it now. I bet you that's what it is. I bet you they don't know where to go with it. I bet you 101, because the original people that created it made their story, and they got rid of all the original Bungie creators, almost all of them, and they just took the original material and they just stretched that crap out. Found new ways to redo the story, maybe some minor changes, and just stretched that out, and they don't know what to do with it after all that. That's my guess. That's just a guess. I don't know. But I just want somebody to fucking explain to me. Please, somebody explain to me, where did the fucking money go? Anybody? Could anybody tell me? Holy shit. And that's the thing. I stopped playing Destiny around Destiny 2 when it was the same shit where but I kind of got back into it a little bit, but then I just saw how greedy they were with all the microtransaction shit. And so I'm just like, fine, whatever. I'm done playing it. There are a lot of dedicated fans, but I'd be so mad as a dedicated fan to have found out that all this money that you spent, and some of the stuff was just egregious in terms of how much they were. And you're literally telling me you guys do not have the money to build Destiny 3. Give me a fucking break. Give me a break.
Oh, give me a break. Give me a break. Break me off a piece of that fancy feast.
Anyways, guys, that's all the stuff I wanted to talk about. Just a few Xbox stuff and whatnot. Some good news, some bad news, but that's what I wanted to talk about real quick. It all started with the Bungie thing, but I saw more news come in, and I wanted to talk about that stuff real quick. No Destiny 3, that sucks. Where's Xbox gonna go? I don't know. I'm hoping they figure something out there. And one good thing is that you'll get to play Call of Duty Black Ops, because back then people knew how to make games, and it seems like that's the only ones that gets re-released all the time because nobody knows where to go with it anymore with gaming. Anyways, guys, I hope you all enjoy the video. I hope you can all subscribe to the channel. That'll be it for today. I'll see you guys all in the next one, and you all take care.